Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Racing Insiders podcast. This is episode 96.
Really?
96, yeah. We're getting close to the 100. Should we do something special for the 100th episode?
What should we do?
I don't know.
Like a big giveaway.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you always want to give stuff away. Yeah. But I'm Kate Dillon from Crate Insider, and this is Steve Hendren from Hendren Racing Engines.
I'd give away a gift certificate.
You will?
Yeah.
Okay.
For 100.
For Hendren Racing Engines?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. I'll have to figure out something. That's we don't ever talk about what we're going to talk about on the show beforehand.
No,
we just all right, let's work it out. So yeah. Well, what you drinking there? Drinking Ultra?
Yeah.
Basic bitch Ultra.
That's right.
I'm having hot tea in my nerdy Battlestar Galactica mug, but the back's fun. I am. Look. Frack. It says frack because they used to say that on the show all the time. Yeah. Frack that. Frack that.
Like the original?
No, the new one.
Yeah, I mean the original. They never said that.
Well, I'm sure they didn't. Yeah.
It was like that little robot going beanie 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 buck.
I don't know. I never watched the original. I only watched the new one.
I watched the original. I'm dating myself now.
Yeah. I didn't watch the original. I didn't really grow up in a sci-fi family. I just kind of found sci-fi on my own.
I'm like, found that on my own.
Yeah. So how was your week?
That was good. Yeah. Monday started off like a normal Monday. So we had a car on the dyno today and the computer decided to take a shit. So that didn't work out too good.
That's fun. I'm 100% familiar with that concept. I have had
just worked fine last week, and this week it decides to take a shit. So,
as in, like, what happened? Did it just go black screen?
Yeah, basically it's not working.
Okay.
So,
anybody Google it?
No, we tried everything today.
Okay.
So,
like taking it apart and stuff.
Well, are we going to take a computer apart?
Well, I did, and it fixed it.
Well, yeah. Well, no.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that happened for you. Also, didn't you lose power last week or something at one point?
No.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of. Oh, that was my brother. Lost power for a day.
Right.
Yeah, it's like just the crazy
that
stuff.
That throws a kink in the works.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of crashiness with computers today.
Other than the flu and the COVID and snow and everything else, no, we're still jamming along as fast as we possibly can.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was crazy last week. I just had one of those times where I get a headache for like 2 days and it just knocks me out. So I was out Tuesday and Wednesday, so that kind of sucked. But I was all right by the weekend.
It's like 2 of your busiest days of the week too. So.
I know, totally inconvenient, and I was done.
When you get a migraine, you get a migraine.
Yeah,
you get like the freaking colossal migraines.
I do. It doesn't happen. Yeah, it happens a few times a year, but. So then I just know I just have to wait it out. I just have to just ride it out.
Yeah, you missed trivia last week on Tuesday.
I did.
It was like that bad.
I knew. And
one thing missing work. It's another thing missing trivia.
Yeah, I'm more involved in work than I am in trivia, but it's important to you. So yeah, I always go.
Well, it's after hours is what I'm getting at. So it's like
one
thing missing work.
Yeah.
Another thing missing fucking trivia.
Well, I've been busting tail on the Race Logic. Oh yeah, so there's an update. The crate class is 100% done.
604 and 602 crate late model class, right?
The crate late model class is 100% uploaded, and you can watch the entire class. Yeah. And I just before I came down here, I am halfway through with the street stock class.
Oh, nice.
It's not all uploaded yet, but there's like 6 different sections, and I've gotten.
Which honestly, with you editing that shit, that's gotta suck because you sit through the class, and then you have to watch the entire class again. Yeah,
I mean, but there's some tricks. So but I have to watch every camera angle.
You kind of have double knowledge.
Well, the sad thing is if I actually understood suspension. This would be totally freaking magical, but I am still waiting for
you'd be the next Rumley.
For it to be osmosis. I mean, if somebody called and said, what's going to happen if I add more, right rear percentage, I might be able to answer the question, but I wouldn't actually know why we're doing it. So I got some questions to ask, but I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a ton, and I find it's so interesting that the two different classes, even though they're for two different cars, there's so much that overlaps, and there's so much that like, oh gosh, I wish we would have said this over here in this class,
Right.
or vice versa. So really, really interesting.
Yep.
Really interesting. And we show up here every week to answer any kind of tech questions that you guys have. So feel free to drop them in, and we are happy to answer those.
Or
so I see
oddball weird shit, whatever.
Yeah. I see that Chad says, "Hey guys, stopping in to say hey and let Steve know those strippers sure enjoyed all those dollar bills he gave me Wednesday." Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There's a story.
Well, no, we just had like a bunch of ones. So.
And he came in and
he got hooked up with a bunch of ones, which is automatic strip club cash. At least they weren't twos. So you can be more selective with ones than you can with twos.
Okay. Gotcha. So you could go and you could make it rain. Make
Right.
it rain. All right. Dennis asks, do you ship to Australia? Really on a 1-by-1 basis? So you just have to call me during like business hours.
Honestly,
it just depends.
Right.
Honestly, it just depends because number one, I don't stock everything, but number two, it is very, very difficult to ship anything to your country right now.
Yeah, so my ex-wife's mom's husband, which would be my ex-stepfather-in-law,
that lives in Australia. His ex-wife is from
so
Australia.
He's got a 2018 Camaro SS or RS, I don't remember which, but he got rear-ended and wanted me to ship a bumper to him. So the bumper price was great, like bumper cover price, freaking, he's all about that. But it was freaking almost $2,000 to like airship one,
and
over there. And he's, of course, there's a container ship with one on board headed that way now, but it was going to be 4 months, and he wanted to fix it right away. And yeah, it was like $2,000 to like ship one.
Well, and USPS won't even send it. I mean, I had a package I was trying to send over there, and it went from North Carolina to Atlanta to Florida out to California before the USPS actually just turned it around. And then it sat in Tennessee for a couple of weeks. Like, I didn't even know that it hadn't, that it was stuck somewhere. And then it turns out like, we're not shipping to Australia. I mean, you think you could have rejected it long before then.
That's probably because their pilots have to go in quarantine when they show up or some shit. Who knows?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what's.
I used to live there, and it's like turned into like this. I don't even know how to describe that place.
It's unrecognizable.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Not from what I.
A big part of America is pretty unrecognizable to me too. My core value is freedom, and that is freedom of choice, freedom of speech.
Yep.
Even if I disagree with you, I don't care what stupid thing that you want to support or stupid thing that you want to say, I will support your right to full stupidity if that's what you want to do.
March in the streets, frickin' raise hell, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Just don't burn my frickin' business to the ground or do anything stupid. And
Well,
I'm all behind you.
Well, when you start trampling on individuals, then absolutely. So
exactly.
I have to say I've been a little bit following the Canadian truckers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yes.
Yep.
Yes, I'm here to support you. I've been watching that whole GoFundMe thing. And now there's, here's what I wonder. Okay, let me just finish that.
Yep.
But that with GoFundMe, and in case you haven't heard, GoFundMe, that these truckers, the Freedom Convoy 2022 raised, $10 million. And GoFundMe distributed a million of it, but then the policemen in Canada said, "Oh, they're being disruptive. It's not legal protest. They're an occupation now." Well, then GoFundMe first tried to say, "Hey, you know what? We're not going to give the truckers the money, but we're going to distribute it to the charities of our choice." People went all to hell. They started doing chargebacks.
All right, the chargeback, what I read today, is the way to go.
It is, because it'll cost GoFundMe $15 each time.
Chargeback. Correct.
Yeah. So, but then they came back and said, "Oh, wait, we're just going to just refund your money." Yeah. But here's where I find it interesting, because, I think we have a big tech fight ahead of us. And what really kind of emerged from this is a platform called Give, Send, Go. Now, they're touting themselves as a Christian platform. So this tells me that they would also not necessarily support every cause that comes their way. I'm all about like, hey, again, if you want stupid, you do stupid. That's fine. But that's where the fundraiser is happening over at GiveSendGo.com.
Oh, that's good for them.
Yeah, so I hope that doesn't get us kicked off of YouTube and Facebook. But at this point, otherwise,
fuck 'em.
I don't know. I mean, we got a TikTok account that we haven't even hardly used yet, so you might have to see us on TikTok or something. It's hard to say. Absolutely, and of course, the Rogan controversy. There's always something there, but again, freedom of speech.
Yeah, he got offered $100 million to like change platforms today.
Really? Yeah. Who wants to take him now?
What I can't remember the name of the place. It's something that's like it's gaining traction. Is
it Rumble?
It might have been that. It might have been something else. Like I've seen it before.
Okay.
And I know there's plenty of people on there, but
I mean, it's not like Parler or anything. I mean, Parler is just like Twitter, and Rumble is wannabe YouTube, and then there's Locals. David Rubin's company.
It might be that Rumble thing.
Rumble and Locals are together now.
I just know he got offered $100 million to like switch platforms.
Well, and you know who's probably
with no censorship.
Well, you know actually who probably wants to pay for that? The employees at Spotify. What was really disappointing to me was that Howard Stern came out and was anti-Rogan. And I was like,
Howard Stern.
No kidding. What a has-been and talk Jesus about Christ. Being inappropriate.
He's all talking about like, non-vaccinated people should be like corralled and freaking quarantined. He's a fucking dick.
I know.
I used to love that dude. He used to be like on the edge.
Pushing boundaries.
And now he's
being so wrong. Dish. And yeah, you get to the top and then
fuck him.
Yeah. All right. And it's Rumble. AJ says.
Rumble.
It was Rumble.
Okay. It has to be. Yeah. It's like something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for that. I actually hadn't seen that news bit, but it doesn't surprise me. And I think I might have a Rumble account, but I just didn't get into it.
I'm going to start researching alternative accounts because
Facebook's the Facebook audience is, thank you. Anybody who's here live is either joining us on Facebook or YouTube, and thank you. I appreciate you guys being here.
But we can also, because you're using StreamYard, we can go out to different platforms too.
I don't know which other platforms it supports, but we'll have to take a look, and it just, like we're racers, right? I maybe didn't race, but I'm in racing business. And that means, hey, change the rules. Guess what? We're going to adapt. Yeah. Right? We're going to adapt.
Right.
All right. We got to, and then Rumble is also helping Give, Send, Go. So great. Cool. Yeah. I think it is an opportunity as these companies implode and they vote themselves off the island.
Which is what's happening.
Right. Well, and I'll tell you, anybody who wants to start an e-commerce store, I've been making my stand in this a long time, is Shopify. Shopify shut down any store a couple of years ago. This isn't the before times. They became anti-gun because the Czechoslovakian owner that lives in Canada doesn't like guns. So shut down any company. They gave him a month. Like, you need to change platforms or we're shutting down your business on our platform. And it didn't matter. You could be selling holsters. You could be selling like the little straps.
Anything gun related.
Anything that would touch a gun, they shut down people's accounts. At least they give them warning. But I am not going to do any work with a company that is
anti-2A.
Well, especially when they're going against something that's 100% legal in this country. Yeah. Do I want people using Shopify or any platform for selling illegal drugs? No. That's a whole nother deal. Or
illegal
whatever.
Guns, but legal guns are.
And this wasn't even gun. It wasn't even guns. It was like propane and propane accessories. It was guns. It was guns and guns accessories. Well, they got mad because there was a guy on there that was making a bunch of money selling the pattern to 3D print a gun because it was on that slippery slope, and they didn't like being tricked, and so then they went wholesale. So basically,
the ATF raised hell.
Yeah, so maybe I need to start companies that I will no longer support. I'm not saying cancel them because I'm also 100%. You got to give everybody a voice and let them say whatever it is that they want to say, and then we can all make a decision.
Let the market dictate the outcome.
100%, absolutely. Let the market decide. Yep. But we've also I see got a few people saying hi. So Tim's here, says hi. Roy, I would love to hear your take on the Oregon truckers, and definitely probably have to check out if he's said anything on. Let us know if you've said anything on any of your shows, Roy. That would be great. But we have Jordan says recommendation for an open motor. That's a really broad question, Jordan. I'm not sure we can.
Yeah, I'm not
we
sure.
can answer that one. Probably be a little bit more specific on that.
like, yeah, I mean, like motor builder or motor combination for what division, and what class, and what rules, and unfortunately, that's a fairly
really broad. Yeah, like what car should I buy? Yeah. Well, it depends. Yeah. How many doors do you want? How fast do you want to go? But here's a really good question I know you can answer, Steve. Here is David says, steps of adjusting 604 valves.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has different ways, hot or cold. And maybe you can walk us through that. And before you say that, we have a really great video.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
So anyways, Kate's got a video. The freaking... I hate the damn Steve camera.
I love the Steve cam.
All right, so Kate's got a video that we did back probably
2015,
5 years ago, 6. Well,
I know.
God, it's been a while.
Time flies.
That will show you how I adjust my valves. So I do it the exact same way as we would with like an open engine. So you adjust the intake as the exhaust just starts to open, and then you adjust the exhaust after the intake opens and closes and just hits the seat, and that's when you adjust them. And we go 3/4 of a turn preload, and that's on 604s and 602s.
Yes. Yeah. So you go the full turn, and then you back it off a quarter, correct?
Well, what we'll do is we'll go 3/4 of a turn, back up an eighth, tighten on the center set screw, and then come up that eighth. And that tightens everything down and locks it in.
Great.
Good.
And that video can be found best on YouTube or on our website at CrateInsider.com. And if you look up valve lash, we've got the valve lash adjusting tool, and that's the video we're showing. That's the tool you're using.
So what we're doing, especially with the 604s, is we're preloading the button against the piston, for lack of a better term, inside the lifter. And what that does, because the mating surface is not 100% like perfect, we're preloading that button against the piston and inside the lifter, and that seals that off. So at higher RPM, you're not getting, or at high lift, you're not getting that bleed down.
And it's cold. I mean, you generally do it cold.
I mean,
for you're on an engine stand.
I do it cold no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But all you have to do is feel where zero is. If you can feel zero, then you can do it cold all day long. Just realize that sometimes you're going to run across a lifter that's down. So you just have to feel zero, and it might have no resistance when you go that 3/4 of a turn, or it may have a lot, depending on whether the lifter's bled down or not. If you have a problem doing that, then warm the engine up and do one side, warm the engine up again, do the other side. That way you can feel where zero is.
Okay. Now, I've also heard too, where if you've already had your valves set, the lash set, isn't there something about being able to just take them off and put them when you change them?
Yeah, like some, I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, I've got customers that are not very mechanically inclined.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll recommend to those people is, hey, if you go to change valve springs, you need to readjust your valves. Keep everything in order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, meaning the push rods and the adjuster screws and the rockers, keep everything in order. And if you don't turn that center adjuster screw, you can go right back in and put everything on and tighten it down, and you'll be right where you need to be.
Good. I mean, that's a great cheater trick right there. You know, not cheating, but
but it's something
a shortcut.
You don't need to hire a guy to come to your shop and adjust your valves. Probably wrong, because that's 9 times out of 10. That's usually what happens. Is the guy, Joe Blow, ace mechanic that teaches high school frickin' auto shop, usually comes and adjusts somebody's valves wrong. So
yeah, I'm sure you've run into that more than once.
Quite a bit.
Oh, and Mikey is here from Oregon. Happy Monday, Mikey, and congratulations on your new job. He's working at Left Coast Motorsports. Cool. So congratulations. And let's see. Oh, Chris is here. Hey, guys. From California.
Yep.
And Chuck says, okay, dumb question, Chuck. Mm-hmm. Probably not a dumb question.
Probably not.
Nope.
No, there's no question is a dumb question. The only dumb ones aren't asked.
That's right. So. I mean, we found out that there really are dumb
questions. Well, there can be some dumb questions. They're really, I'm going to say 99% of them.
But no. If it's something that you're looking at. But in your case, I just scanned your question. Yeah. It's not a dumb question. Yeah. He says, my 604 does not have beehive springs. Do y'all have regular matching valve springs for a 604?
Okay.
I do not.
If you do not have beehives, then unfortunately what you're running into is they no longer make that. So GM no longer supports that old style spring.
Oh, you can't even get those springs anymore?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because I haven't stocked them for a while.
No. So unfortunately, what you end up having to do is you're going to need to, if that's your scenario, you need to purchase the conversion kit, which is not cheap.
It's like, yeah.
And
I mean,
then,
last time I looked, it was like $750.
And then generally, at the very least, you need to purchase a half set of rockers. Because the old style rocker, which would go with that old style spring, does not work on the exhaust, I think.
Oh, see, and I thought it was that if your engine was 2007 or newer, it had the newer rockers.
No.
If 2007 or older had the old style rockers.
No, it goes beyond that.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, you
it's just been a long time since I've done a conversion.
The old style rocker will actually touch the retainer and you'll drop a valve.
Okay.
On I believe it's the exhaust. I can't remember exactly because honestly, it's been so long since that's been an issue.
Yeah, it's
for us.
been a few years.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry that. But he does have something to add. He says and FJB. So yeah, let's go.
Hell yeah.
Let's go, Brandon.
I'm all on that.
Cameron's here. He says, "Hello, my happy racing family." Yep. Hello, Cameron. And Sean has a great question. Did you get all your Profab headers? Sean, no, not yet. I did have a great conversation with Andy from Profab today. And because what we've already decided or, talked about is that as soon as we really have a pretty solid ETA on when we're going to be able to release them, then I will start pre-selling them, taking pre-orders. Right now, I'm not even letting anybody order them because number one, I don't want to hold on to people's money without being able to get product in their hand. Right. And then number two, I don't want to answer 4 or 5 or 10 phone calls every day with where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? So until I've got a pretty solid ETA, I won't do that. But what they're waiting on right now is material to come in.
And he actually messaged me today and they're going to have gaskets.
I know. We talked today.
Is that not badass?
Well,
we're going to have actual good gaskets.
Well, I mean, I think that was a secret. That was a secret.
I don't care. No, we've been talking about it for like 2 years. That's what I was like joking around with him. I'm like, oh yeah, only 2 years later, we can now have gaskets. So
it's been like 3. It's been like 3 years. Yeah, but they're not in his hands yet.
No, they're not in his hands.
Yeah, so I don't, like making a.
Well, I'm
false
like,
claims.
I'm a what do you
you're
call it?
You're a premature promoter.
Premature promoter.
Yeah, you are. I need to.
It's coming up.
I need to.
No more fucking red silicone, Gus.
I need to start making the little name plate on here. So instead of saying Steve Hendren, be like, Kate Dillon, CEO, Steve Hendren, premature promoter.
I just get excited about certain things. I'm excited about the gaskets.
I am too. I am very excited. All right.
Which is why it's all premature.
Yes, because it's not. He hasn't even ordered them yet. Yeah, there's still. Yeah, we're looking at a couple different options.
I'm too excited about certain other things. But, that's another damn deal. Anyways, go ahead.
All right. Next up, Paul says, if you had the choice of an MSD 6-seat and HVC2 or a fast 6CD and E93, which would you choose? The problem is that's great if you can actually get that fast ignition box.
They're out of the ignition box business temporarily.
For who knows how long.
Well, we don't know how long.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you've got one, and access to one, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But they.
I mean, either one of the MSDs will be fine. Yeah. I mean.
Well, you loved the fast. It's just.
Well, I love the fast. I mean, I love everything that they had going on, but unfortunately, they're just out of the box business.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if you've got the choice, then great, probably fast. Yeah. But I don't have that choice because I can't get them.
And it'll last forever. So I mean, if you can get one, get that. 100%.
Let's see. Cameron says I'm growing tired watching the Lucas race and also my now Monday night counseling. Oh, is there a Lucas race tonight?
Yeah, they're probably at East Bay by now, I would think.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Darren is here. So, hey, Darren. And Big Rev Kev is here. Hi from Australia. Yep. We run a 602 and love it. Would a carb spacer help?
Yes. I mean, if you're not running a carb spacer, absolutely it will help. I would look at the HVH. I don't remember the number off the top of my head.
I don't either. It's just the one that has like 2 rectangular holes with a little bar in the center.
Honestly, it just has the bar in the center. I mean, that's worth 5 horsepower over no spacer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Better than a 4-hole.
Yep.
And it looks like you had a motor that won at East Bay yesterday.
Did I?
That's what Cameron said.
Oh.
Yeah, congrats. Steve equals speed times first place equals the best.
Honestly, I haven't even looked at any results. I have no idea who won.
Chuck's got another question. He says, can you buy a billet carb main body so I can update my carb? Like ballpark price for a billet main body?
Okay, yeah. So if you're asking if you've got a HP center section, and then yeah, we can do that. So yeah, basically you're looking around $500 to buy the billet center section and convert your other components to that billet center section.
Okay.
Yeah, it's roughly around $500. It may be a little bit more right now just because of the way shit is, but I can tell you last year that's about what the price was.
Well, and that's probably a better way. Well, I guess, there's a couple ways to go. You could sell your old carburetor and then use that money towards a new one.
You can do that as well.
But it just updating. It sounds like just replacing that center section could be less expensive.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to say $500-$600 range, just off the top of my
ballpark. Yeah. I know. Sometimes I have to ask. Like, is that 500 or is that like 5,000? Because I don't know. I don't have a.
No,
not with that, but just in general.
I would have to look at what we're paying for everything currently, but yeah, essentially that's what you're looking at, I think.
Yeah. Mikey says that yes, and pineapple pizza is also a horsepower game. Because of course
for no one.
Well, that's how you can get more fruits and vegetables in your day.
That's just fucking gross.
Mikey and I like pineapple in our pizza.
It's meat lovers or it's nothing.
Yeah, you're a full-on carnivore there.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely for you. Well, any other questions, you guys feel free to drop them in. What else is going on for you, Steve?
Nothing really. Just
any other hot news topics that are on your mind?
Waiting on freaking engines. I had a conversation the other day, and from what I'm understanding, of course, we've been told this since what? Let's see.
June,
July, September, October, November, December, January. So
you forgot August.
Well, yeah, there's that. So 7 months now, we've been told that GM is going to release 604s.
Yeah, 2 weeks away.
So I heard this last week that GM is supposed to release 604s in February.
Okay. Well, it's February.
Apparently in mass.
Okay.
So I'm tending to believe that could possibly happen because there's a couple places in the Midwest that have had 604s, which they won't sell them to me because they can't fill their back orders.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not going to name names, but there's been a couple places and they're not going to sell them to anybody like randomly calls up one to buy one.
Well,
because they got back orders filled. So hopefully this month at some point we'll get 604s.
That'd be good. Yeah, I don't know what you do. Again, it's hard when you don't even have. I can't do anything.
I've got 8 people with deposits. Mm-hmm. And you were speaking earlier about the headers, that you hate taking somebody's money and then sitting on their money, And
I'm actually less concerned about that
stuff. I hate doing that too. So but unfortunately, fortunately for them because they're in line. I've got 8 people that have got brand new 604s on order, and I can't fill the freaking order.
Yeah, but for me, honestly, I wouldn't. I could easily handle the back orders.
Yeah.
What I don't want to deal with is the phone calls, emails, and text messages where I've been very clear, I don't have these. You will get your stuff as soon as I have it. You will have it. Yeah. But blowing me up. 3 times a week. That's what I refuse to do.
I've been very fortunate with the customers I have. I've issued one refund because the guy's like, "Oh, hey, I found a used one or whatever." Yeah. I'm like, no problem. Here's your money back. I've got no problem giving anybody their money back by any means. But it's aggravating when I'm used to going, "Okay, I got your deposit. 3 weeks from now, you got a new motor."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
And I can't do that. It just freaking eats at me.
Yeah.
Every day, literally.
I know. It really bothers you.
Yep.
For sure. So, yeah. Any other questions you guys have? Feel free to drop them in. I've been listening to lots of questions and answers because I've just been buried in race logic. Gosh.
Right. Yeah, there's that.
Boy, those classes were so good this year. So good.
I had a good time at both, honestly.
Yeah, and that was the first time you went to the street stock one.
Yeah, I'd never been to that, and yeah, I thought it was a really good deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything is each year is just slightly different about the topics that get covered.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not slight. I mean, each year, technology advances, so we learn new things every year.
Right.
And I think it's
it's not that it's necessarily different as in different information. A lot of things are, stay consistent, the maintenance and what you can learn about even like the maintenance, but there's just different focuses based on, who's in the room and what kind of situations do they have. We did a lot on leaf springs this year. That was exciting. This
is like one of the few things, both classes, where you hear very little. Well, honestly, I've heard none. So essentially no bad feedback from it, because everybody, when they go there, they're going to learn something. Fuck, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know what I mean? I mean, I learned shit that I didn't know, or maybe I did know, but now it's confirmed that I did know it. And I was thinking in the right direction however many years ago or whatever.
Yeah, like affirmation. Well, I mean, I think even like Matt Henderson, I think it was in the first 15 or 20 minutes of the class. I think it was Robbie Bilbrey said, yeah. And Robbie said something, is like, and Matt's like, there it is. I learned something.
Right.
I'm one of the instructors.
Absolutely.
So it was good. All right, we do have a few questions here. So Glenwood Motorsports is back with us. It says, I purchased a used 602 last year and was told it had been rebuilt by Steve. Is there any way to tell when it had been rebuilt?
Yeah, because 99.9% of all the 602s that we do are going to be Crate Racing USA sealed. So there's going to be a build certification number stamped in the right front corner of the block, just in front of the passenger side cylinder head. And then the build certification number is going to be stamped in the left rear corner of the block, just behind the driver's side cylinder head.
Okay.
If you'll go to the Crate Racing USA website, and it'll be a 5-digit number. And if you enter that 5-digit number in their seal search, that'll tell you whether it was done by me or somebody else, and it'll give you the seal positions and the numbers of each seal on the motor.
Will it also have a date?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Yes. It'll have the seal date.
Okay.
So when I sent the request and it was sent out normally that day or the next day, then it'll have that date.
Well, I mean, I think it makes a difference. Like, was it 2020
it's within a week.
2016. Yeah. I mean, I think it's more like what year it was.
Yeah.
It made more sense.
So,
there.
I mean, that's what you need to do is look at that. I can tell you that like the most current seals will be black seals.
Okay.
And or blue.
Okay.
Because
there was some crossover.
Just like everything else.
Couldn't get blue anymore.
No, couldn't get. Well, just like everything else, you know, during the COVID.
Yeah.
We had shortages of stuff. So the most current seals are black or blue.
Okay. Get what you can get.
Yeah, correct.
And be happy with it.
Correct. Then it would go to green, and then the yellows are now banned, and they have been banned. So the most current stuff will be black, blue, or green.
Well, and I like that. I like when things are color coded. It just makes it simple.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Great. You need to grab yourself another beer?
I'm going to.
Okay.
You want one?
No, I'm good.
Or you like drinking your...
I'm drinking my tea.
Talk about basic bitch.
I know. It is what it is. All right. We got another question here for you. So Chris says, saw a post about someone working on MSD boxes to get them to perform better. Any thoughts? I know guys like the fast ignition system, but any input?
The only guy I've personally ever known that worked on boxes would be
Nelson
at Nelson Specialties.
Mm-hmm.
He did a ton of NASCAR stuff. I don't know anybody currently, personally, doing any MSD stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And not high end I mean, not that we're not aware of. So
Yeah.
we can connect them.
And honestly, Nelson's the one that turned me on to fast back in the day, which was originally Crane.
Yeah, because originally I was a Crane ignition dealer, and Comp Cams bought Crane ignition, and that's where we ended up with fast. All right, Paul says a recommended octane rating for a seal program super late motor, 12.5 to 1, I believe.
12.5 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, 11.5 to 1. He has fat fingers.
Oh. So what was your initial question?
What's your recommended octane rating for a seal program super late motor with a 11.5?
I mean, number one, that's extremely low compression ratio for a super engine. So I mean, that would fall in the realm of just about anything above 108 octane.
Okay.
Or E85.
Yeah.
So I mean, most super stuff, you're looking at 14.5, 15 to 1. So I don't know. I mean, and in that scenario, I mean, back in the day, we were using like late model plus by BP and stuff like that. So on gas.
Gotcha.
Other than that, methanol always works if you can run methanol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always your first choice.
Yeah.
Methanol, then E85. And then,
well, I mean, for crate stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for that compression ratio, E85 would work great.
Yeah. Good to know. Chris says, what are your thoughts on a 500 CFM XP versus a 650 CFM HP?
I would run the 650 all damn day long if that's an option, depending on if there's a weight break.
Yeah. Well, and he says, and it's on a 602 with RX 96.
Okay. I mean, is there a weight break for the 500 or not? I mean, if it's like 200 pounds, I'd run the 500 all day long, depending on the size of the track.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, that we were talking about 2-barrel versus 4-barrel here, right? Yeah. And he says, no weight break.
No weight break. Yeah. 4-barrel all day long.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Cameron says this is the first time he and Chris O'Connor on the show at the same time. So that's cool. Trini's got a question. CT question. Are you using an oil cooler?
On the CT 525, I assume. No, we're not. We've gone away from oil coolers probably about 4 years ago. And there's absolutely zero reason to run an oil cooler.
Well, and I knew you'd gotten away from it on the crate stuff.
Yes.
But I didn't know.
No, we have on the 525s as well. Number one, it just robs oil pressure from that motor, and they already have extremely low oil pressure anyway. So there's no reason to run one. And really, those engines just don't run hot. They don't have oil temperature issues that I've run across. So no, we're 100% no cooler on those.
Good to know. Good. A question I would have for you is looking, but
there you go.
Oh, there we go. One question I'd have for you, because you mentioned like oil pressure and that kind of thing. When you were racing, what gauges do you like to run?
I used to run Longacres all the time.
No. I mean, are you running oil pressure? Are you running?
Oh no.
Water,
I mean,
like what?
Yeah.
What things and why did you run the ones you ran?
Like crate stuff, I've always run oil pressure, fuel pressure, water temperature. Everything else I didn't give a shit about.
Now, after
I mean, TAC, of course, but
yeah. But now, after you've heard, would you still run water temperature today, or would you switch to water pressure?
No, I'd run water temperature and water pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, water pressure I think is an important deal, but you want to gauge and a light because you want to be able to verify what's going on. One of the classes. for
All right, we're back, I
Did it come
think.
back up?
Yeah. And I restarted the computer.
Like took a giant shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I had black screen, and he just like Steve had today. Apparently, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, same shit happened to our computer.
That's crazy. I think it wants me to upgrade to Windows 11, but yeah, it's giving me the. It says we're still live, so sorry about the little glitch there. Yeah. Oh, and Art says lost you guys, but hey, we're back. So, yep. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Yep, we're back, and we're back because here we are. You're gonna hear Steve crunching on pretzels now.
I am. You are.
Yeah. I know it's going to come through on the microphone there, but Steve got a smoke break. Oh, and Art says back on. So,
right, cool.
Yay, good deal.
That was a shit show there for a second.
Yeah, it was so crazy. So AJ's running an APC motor, and Chris has a modified, and so yeah, just like learning these. But yeah, let us know what other questions you guys have. We're happy to answer. Yeah, no, that was just a random computer thing. So I just like pushed some buttons and made it restart, and yeah, for no reason. Yeah. So anyway, ask your questions. Sorry about the glitch. Yeah. So episode 96.
I will reveal that I got a setup for March radiator this week. That we put on Alex's car, and we'll be testing that out. And I think that'll be a future recommendation that we have, like in our recommendation sheet.
Well, your premature promoting has actually resulted in either a Facebook question or phone call. Somebody's already interested in the thermostat that you recommend.
Yeah,
and so I had to tell Tori that, hey, I don't have that part number.
We don't
yet.
have it yet.
Yeah,
it's going to be a thing, I believe, because once I had it in my hand, it all made sense to me. So it's going to be something that I think we're going to.
Well, you've been so anti thermostat for so long.
I have, yeah.
But tell me why. Don't even talk about the new design, but tell me why that you felt that thermostats were a bad choice for racing engines.
Because they fail.
Okay.
And they don't do what they're supposed to do. But the way this is designed, it's going to do exactly what it's supposed to do.
Well, and what is a thermostat supposed to do?
Well, it's supposed to keep the engine in a certain temperature. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many older cars. It's so funny you talk about like watching the gauges, and I have typically driven older cars like most of my life, and so
street cars.
Yeah, regular street cars. Yeah, the ones that have the check engine light on like continuously. So after a while, So after a while, you're just like, yeah, I'm not even going to pay attention to that anymore.
Right.
But I've definitely had a few cars where the thermostat went out, and
I mean, so this will be something that I'm going to definitely promote. I believe.
Yeah. Well, once you test it out and see how.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to test it out. Obviously, we got some dyno stuff coming up, and we got a bunch of carburetor dynoing to do for up north where they're just now switching to E85. So.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a major switch for that market.
Correct.
For sure. So. And
in Rush Country.
Yeah, in Rush Country.
Yeah, which would be cool. That's one of the best moves I think Rush has made.
I agree. And what I really like is that they're going to be able to come down and race with us, I'm sure. And then even the tires, I think, are going to be in line with Crate Racing USA stuff, isn't it?
I don't know the tire. I'm not a tire guy.
Yeah.
Other than if we're talking about tire prep, which is not legal in any of those, but yeah, no.
Yeah. We're the mostly legal show, right? But
I am a tire prep fan, just saying.
No, but I'm just saying even tire selection. I mean, anyway, it allows there to be a little more crossover, or like going up to those big races up there. Some of our southern friends can go up there and join us without having to change out their carburetor and everything else.
Vicky's dad's race is 20,000 win this year.
Oh wow! Is that one at Lernerville?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't want to speak out of turn. I have no idea where. I assume it's there.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
Or that's where it's been in the past.
But I know her dad's race, I think, is 20K.
Okay.
We're in the process of making my dad's race at least 10K.
Okay.
So that'll be at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, during the Pittsburgher. So
but it'll allow guys from the south to come up there. I mean, we're talking 7 hours to Pittsburgh from where we're at. So
yeah. So it's a haul. But it's a whole nother thing to have.
It's not a big haul because everybody's in Florida right now, so
yeah,
it's not that big of a haul.
I know. It'd be fun to be in. Well, is Florida the weather this time of year? It can be like 50 one day or 80 the other days.
Random, but
I know because I thought about going there, planning a weekend, and just like, hey, I'm just gonna go and hang out in Florida and hang out on the beach for a couple days or something. But yeah, you just don't really know. So. Way it goes. Any other new discoveries that you've run across?
So yeah, no, I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, gotcha.
Not yet.
Yeah, well,
because you're like giving me shit about being a premature promoter.
I always give you shit about that, though. You're just a man ahead of your time. Is that right? No, it's just, when we put it out there and we're not prepared, then we can't serve our audience as well.
Stuff I gotta like. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about it.
No worries. There's always testing and production and everything else that we deal with these times of year.
Well, I mean, testing is the main thing.
Yeah. So. Well, that's important. Let's make sure it's verified before we.
Right.
Which I don't even know what it is he's talking about, but I'm sure I'll hear about it.
Dynos say one thing, racetracks is another.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Let's just wait and we'll go from there.
Yeah. And Cameron says we don't call it tire prep, we call it tire conditioning.
Well, exactly. And that's the main thing. That's
honestly,
I'm a huge
that's the
fan
way.
Of tire conditioner. I mean,
Well, and I'm not a fan of cheating, but what I am a fan of is getting the most out of your investment.
Correct.
And with the tire conditioners, especially like the Daytona 1 stuff we sell, is it doesn't destroy the tire to give you more power.
Correct.
It actually enhances the ability of even an old tire to
do what it's supposed to do,
to continue to perform. And with the shortages and the pricing, and I would like to see more series take a look at that. It just reminds me, it's like when we look at some rules that are in rule books, it's like, why is this rule here? Well, I don't know. We've copied and pasted it for the last 15 years. And I think it would be good to take a good, nice, strong examination of these rule packages. And, why is this rule here? Well, one guy, there was this one guy one time at band camp kind of stuff.
Well, I've got a whole different opinion on tires than probably most people do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not even most people. I mean, I'm going to say half the community of racers. So I am of the opinion that if I buy it and I own it, I should be able to do what I want with it.
Well, but that argument could be made for the crate motor too.
It can, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. It's a double-edged sword.
It's a slippery slope.
When it comes to that, it's a slippery slope. I get that, but tires are expendable.
Yeah,
and also extremely expensive because you're going to spend more money on tires this year than what you're going to spend on your motor.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
To go crate
at $225 a piece. That's $900 for one set. And you're probably replacing, depending on some tracks.
And you're gonna go to some podunk track and race for $500.
Well, you go to Cherokee, you better have a new right rear on there every weekend.
Right rear and right front. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're looking at $450 plus all of your expenses, your fuel to get there, which is twice as much.
$1,000 a week.
It's really hard. The wear and tear, and then getting in.
Absolutely.
It makes it. It's definitely a challenge.
I can buy a 1 gallon jug of $80 freaking conditioner and make my tires last, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Well, and these days it doesn't have to be the I'm gonna give my kids cancer type of stuff. That part I agree with.
Like the Daytona 1 stuff is like biodegradable, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not cancer causing.
Correct. And James says, "Oh, does that stuff work on asphalt slicks?"
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's even been used in drag racing.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And on asphalt and go-karts, all of those. And I like what Buck always says about any of his products. He always says, I'll say, well, does it work on this? Does it work on that? And here, in this condition, and he'll be like, Kate, it doesn't know where it is. No. It's just going to do its job.
Exactly.
And that's it. So it doesn't care whether the tire conditioner does not care whether it's asphalt or dirt or drag or circle track. It only does its job.
Correct.
Of making your tires. I'd like to see like a durometer rule like that. I would like that to be the rule for tires.
Yeah, for a lot of years it was.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to see because you know what? Then we'd know who won and lost right there at the track.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to see, but I'm not the one who makes. I don't have a series. I'm never going to have a series.
No.
Just saying. And oh wow, Trina says in 1992 tires were around $85.
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And now we're looking at almost 3 times more. I don't think that I'm making 3 times the money that I was in. I probably am making twice as what I was making in 92.
The racer certainly isn't.
Mm-mm. If you're doing the same type of job or same kind of business.
In 1992 in California, I was racing for $1,000 to win every Friday and Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are in 2022, so 30 years later, and we're in the Carolinas with $50,000 race cars and $10,000 freaking crate engines. So $60,000 in a freaking car, and you're racing for $1,000 on tires that are costing you like then are going to cost you $225 this year. Yeah, it makes zero sense to me. You got some rando shit.
Oh, that's just the computer. Okay. And what do you feel like is a solution to that?
I don't know if there is a solution. I'll
tell you one thing that's been floating around.
I'll tell you what. So I did an engine for Ray Cook.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And Ray's tied in with
American Racer.
Mm-hmm. Really well. And American Racer has a tire that, honestly, I think is probably the best thing out there right now. And it's like, I don't know, like $125. And I know there's one series around here that's going to go with that tire this year. Unfortunately, like the Purple Mafia, which is Hoosier, they pretty much dictate everything because they give series and tracks and all this stuff a bunch of money every year to run their tire. I don't know.
I don't know enough about the politics of that.
I don't even want to get involved in that. I'm just spouting out this shit that it's on the top of my head right now. But I mean, that's a freaking great tire. Go with that.
I mean, but I think, but when it comes down to it too, though, when we were talking about what's the solution and how do we raise purses, and one potential solution I've heard floated is just like there's players unions. Would there be the will? I mean, everybody bitches about it, but would there be the will for racers to band together to do that?
Nope.
And that's what's unfortunate.
I've been involved with that in California before, back in the day. And because that was proposed, that was, not officially voted on, but it was like everybody's going to band together to like make this one track do what should be correct. Mm-hmm. And you got one holdout. And he goes, hell, I'll race. And then you got 2. And then you got 3. And then you got 4. So no, there's no way to do that. Yeah.
Well, and then it tells me you don't want it bad enough.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is we're like, racers are whores. We'll go race for a freaking trophy. Look at SCCA.
Well, I heard the Tulsa Shootout is all just racing for a trophy. But SCCA, I think that people recognize, though, that they're doing that as a hobby. This is a way to show off their sports car. Right?
But it's lame. Who the fuck races for nothing?
Well, they're just doing it for fun.
That's what I'm getting at.
Well, they can already afford to.
But you're going to have those people that are willing to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
If you're willing to race for nothing, you're a whore.
Well, I mean, whore is generally the highest bidder. I think it's more a desperation, because if you're the one guy that's the holdout, you're probably not the guy that always leads the races, because then you should be a leader. You're probably the guy that's never won one. So, if nobody else shows up, then I get a chance to win a race.
The thing I was referring to in California, that was what the deal was. It was the guy that was running friggin' 15th every night.
Right. Well, I'll go. I'll get more seat time.
That's what I'm getting at.
Well, then you do you, and guess what? They'll cut the whole class.
I might be able to win a race. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends if there's the will to do it. But I do think that life in the 90s was a lot different than the life we have today. I mean, we're seeing the resurgence
It's different, but not so much.
But it is. And the part that it is that I feel like in the 90s, I mean, we were learning about unions in high school, and I'm like, oh, wow. I mean, they definitely needed unions like in 1900 where, you've got child labor. I mean, just horrible working conditions. But I was like, we don't need that anymore. We live in this great American society, and, people are treated pretty good and treated fairly.
Unless you work at Amazon.
Well, Amazon didn't exist. Not in its current form.
Right.
Not when you had now you've got the two biggest employers being Walmart and Amazon. And, people have to pee in a jar because they don't even get a bathroom break. Yeah, if anybody needs a union, unions kind of need. I mean, I'm not even a liberal, you guys. So before anybody beats me up, I'm just like, don't treat people like shit is kind of where I'm at. Let's see what other folks have to say. Cameron says, I was hit by a $75 tire. Nate says, new, it's $150. Mm-hmm. Bob says, I've seen some thrown around letting mods run Dot Street 60 series tires. I mean,
I wouldn't know about that, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the creative solutions that come out. And Cameron says that if you cut the tire to the driver's style of driving, it will last longer. Mm-hmm. It just takes time, unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, and knowledge. So
absolutely.
How many people know how to cut fucking tires?
Well, and how many of them you have to cut up and get wrong before you? Well, and then each track changes, and different driving styles and different tracks and different night, like different time at the track.
Right.
Because the track at 5 o'clock is different than track at 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, cool. Do you have any other final thoughts there, Steve?
I don't know.
I do not have any final thoughts either. So I think we will wrap things up. Thank you for those who.
For the second time.
Yes.
Like this time on purpose. Last time not.
Yeah, this time. Yeah. So thanks anybody who came back. I mean, thanks for sticking with us. And we're excited to be here. We'll be back with episode 96 next week. Yes.
I think you said this was.
Is it 96? Well, I guess next week will be 97. So.
All right. So for 100, we have to do something.
I don't know. Throw in some suggestions on what we should do for the 100th episode. Give us some ideas so that we can get ahead of that. We'll talk about that next week too.
I'm thinking like some sort of.
Yeah, maybe we can bring on some guests or do giveaways. I don't know. Drop in your comments. We'd love to see.
So next week will be 97. So we got.
Yep.
98, 99. So we got 4 weeks to 100.
Yeah. Well, 3.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. After next week.
Yeah. So I'm sure we can come up with something.
Huh.
So I want to thank you all.
Might be warm by then.
Could be. Then we be outside because that's where you always want to be. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
You know what we got to do? Oh, we'll talk about it privately.
Okay. We'll figure it out. That sounds
I don't
scary.
want to premature promote.
Yeah. I don't know. Drop in your comments and maybe we put up a poll or something. Well, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And you can find us on iTunes and all of the major podcast platforms. You can also visit our website at racinginsiderspodcast.com to check out me or Steve and what we do at our businesses. You can go to hendrensracingengines.com or CrateInsider.com. So I hope you all have a great week and we'll see you next time.
Happy birthday, Kate.